All right, so welcome back to Daily Coding. So in today's video, we're going to build the Pomodoro app, which is the productivity app, which is a really small app right here. So you can go to the link in the description to test it out. So for this project, we're gonna use the next.js and with tailwind. So the functionality you can see right here is really simple. We have the short breaks, we have a long breaks, and we can start a countdown for this one. So while it's countdown, when I try to switch to short break, they prompt me that do I really want to switch or not. And let's say when the timer is starting, so if I want to refresh the page, so I prevent the user from accesses right away, I ask for confirmation. Also, when they want to exit the site, same thing here. And also they can be able to change the time. So right now I'm click reset. So right here, so I can change this one to, yeah, let's say 50 for this one. So if we go back and you can see the short break is going to go to 50. And all right, so, and also when the timer has gone, let's say if it reached to the 00, we have the alarm clock to ring for the user as well. So this app is really simple. And I hope you like this one. All right, so let's start coding. So here I'm using VS Code, so you can use any tag editor you want. And this is just a boilerplate from Create Next apps. So I have added the tailwinds already, and I'm also adding the music, the alarm MP3 right here to it already. If you want to follow along, you can go into the GitHub page and then you go into the startup projects, and then you can just clone from this one, and then you can follow the video. Or if you want to do it on your own, you can go into Tailwind documentation. It is really nice, so that they allow you to do it with Tailwind easily. With next.js, you can run this command and it already plug in Tailwind for you. You don't have to do anything. You can just run this command. It will add Tailwind for you. All right, so after you doing that, so you can see right here, we have the page that we're gonna have an index page. And right now it's running on local 3000. Let's say welcome to Daily Coding. So we're going to be doing this one. So daily focus. And there you go. All right. So we're gonna build the UI first. I think for the functionality, we're going to implement it later. So first we're gonna focus on the UI. So I'm going to go into the index apps right here. So, all right, so let's do this. So first, what I can do is I try to create, set up the background. So class names, BG is going to be gray 900. All right, so as you can see, all right, so I see there's some things wrong with this one. What is that? Min height. Okay, I see. So we have, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reload the window. So sometimes when you actually install this one, it might not work right away. So, okay, so as you can see right now, when you clone, you need to do some reload so to get it works. So right now I can do is min height to screen. And since I set up already font, so I can do the fonts, enter. Okay, so as you can see right here, I have the style and font CSS. I import the font from enter. So I place it right over here. And so this is how I do import the fonts. And also you need to add the font right here as well, the extent, so that we can find what is enter font is. Cool. So right now we have this one, so we'll be able to change the background. The next thing is, as you can see right here, we work only on this small part of right here. So so we're gonna set the maximum width for this one. So for this, I'm gonna get the inner div. I'm gonna give a class name for this one. So class names. I'm gonna give the width of this one just max width, the 2XLs. So the 2XLs right here, and then I'm gonna set the min height, this one as well. Let's see the background. What does it look like? So I'm gonna give a gray 900. So you can see it's this size. So what we want to do is to make it to the center. So to make it center is really simple. We can do just X auto. There we go. So right now it's in the center. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. So I can remove this one, the background. So next is we going to build the navigation right here. So this is, I'm gonna do navigation, and as you can see, we have the icons right here. So for that, we're gonna use the React icon. So this is the React icons that I like to use. There's a lot of icons that you can choose from, and so I have already installed it into our projects already. So once you get a start project, you have everything that needed. So we're gonna build the navigation. So I'm gonna create a component folder for this one. So outside, so right here, I'm gonna do components. So inside component right here, I'm gonna create the navigations, navigations.js. Oops. So the navigation right here is going to, it's really simple. So we're gonna have like an app right here. And for this one is inside this one, as you can see, we're going to have the icon and our logo, and also the another icon as well. So for this is we're going to use the icon is going to be from icon fee. I'm gonna use feather icon. So you can choose any icons you want. Let's say I'm gonna choose the fv command right here. So I can just copy first. I'm gonna copy this one. And then I'm gonna do like this. And then I can just click on one of the icons that I want. Let's say, yeah, this one. And then I can just paste it right over here. I think there's another one as the fee setting. So we can search for this one, setting. So I'm gonna just copy and also paste it right here as well. So the next thing is we're going to do is to make it, use it together. So this one is gonna be, the icon is gonna be b command, and to style this one is just really simple. So it's kind of like you give it if you wanted to give it bigger, you can do text XL, or for this one I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to do text SMs, and then we can give it a text wise to give it a color wise. So I think I'm going to import this navigations. I think that my navigation I spelled wrong. Navigations. All right, this one I'm gonna change my name, the name of the file a little bit. So navigations. Okay, perfect. Right now I'm gonna go into index right here. So I'm gonna import the navigations. Oops. All right. So if we go back into this one, we could be able to see this one. As you can see, we have our navigations. Very nice. And then the next thing is we're gonna have like a text around it. So I'm gonna do like an H1 for this one. For this one, we're gonna say delete focus. Okay. So then I'm gonna give a class names for the delete focus is going to be text wise. And I think the text is kind of okay for me, this one. So you can see, and we want to be this one on the same page, on the same line. So we're gonna do flex, and we're gonna go with the item center. We want a little bit of space between this one. We're gonna do gaps once, and for both of this one, we're gonna do cursor pointer. There we go. So right now, as you can see, it's kind of close to the tops. So I want for the navigation, I want to give the part in top to 5. So there we go. So it's get a little space from the tops. So the next thing is going to be a really simple. It's just we have to use the settings right here. And for this one, we need to give it a little bit bigger. So I can give it the text for this one to 2XL, 2XL, and then for the cursor, it's going to be the cursor pointer. And for the color for this one, we're going to go text wise. So you can see right here, we have a lot of text wise. So what we can do is to, let's say, I'm gonna replace the text y right here, and then we can use in once for all. It's gonna be right here. We can do text y. There we go. So right now everything is y, and so we want to be this one from side by side. So to go back into the now, we can do flex, and then we can do justify. This one is gonna be between, so it's gonna push to the side, And then I want to be, it's a little bit, I want to width this one, let's say, because this one, imagine if we go on the small screens, you can see it's over the edge. So what I like to do is to give the width of 11/12. So it's, and then we make it to the center. So we're gonna do X auto, and I think that's pretty much it for this one. Very nice. So same thing for this one. So you can see we go on the small screen. And so for now, when we click on this one, it's gonna give us like, the modal pop-up. So for this module, modal pop-up, we're gonna implement it later. First, we're gonna implement both of this UI first. Okay, perfect. So next, we're going to work on the UI. So this one is gonna be the timer for this one. So for this is going to be a really simple. I'm gonna create another functions. Another component, sorry, called timer.js. I'll do OFC again. So we have a timer, and then we're gonna put our timer inside here. So, all right, very nice. And then let's go to our timer. Okay, so right now our timer, we're gonna have this option, like say this one, this three right here. Option, and then we have to show the time, and then we can have just one button right here, which is pretty simple. So for that, the options, so what we can do is to create an option for them so that we can loops, because it's going to be really the same things. So I'm going to create an options right here as a constant. So we're going to do pomodoro, and then we're going to do short breaks. And then there's the last one is going to be long break. Okay, perfect. So for this one is so as you can see, we have this one. We want to give it a width of, it's kind of really small for this one. So I'm going to do, let's see. So for now, I'm going to give a background for this one. Let's say BGY. Let's see what it looks like. So right now, since we don't have any content, we do not see anything. So I'm going to do, we have a div right here that inside this div, we're going to do maps our options. So option.maps is going to have an options. And then we're going to have an index. I'm going to use this one as a key. So what we're going to return from this one is an H1 of the options. So let's say options. And then we're gonna have like a key. Now for this one, it's gonna be equal to index. Okay, very nice. So now let's go back in here. So this is what it looks like. So I want to make this one a little bit smaller than the actual size. So we want to match this one right here. So what I can do is I'm gonna go to width for this one to 10/12, and we're gonna do X auto. Very nice. And also we want to put everything into the centers. Okay. All right. So for this one, I'm going to go to give it like a PT to phi. So a little bit of padding tops. Now I'm going to remove the BGY right here. Okay. For the text is going to be all white. So I can use on top right here, text white. Okay, very nice. The next thing is we want to do is to make this one flex. So as you can see right here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I forget about the making everything into the center. So to make the center, I'm gonna do flex. This one, justify content centers, and it's gonna be atom center as well. So you can see right now it's in the center. And for this one, I'm gonna do is flex this one, and then we're gonna have the gaps between this one, or space between, is gonna be phi, and we're gonna go with the item center. There we go. So as you can see, we have a little bit of spacings between this one, so we're gonna do that as well. All right. Okay, very nice. So for this one, I'm going to give the empty for this one. So the empty is going to be 10. Okay, good. So next is, so after we doing this one, we can set the key index. So for now, let's say if we are selected, so for now we don't do the functionality yet, so but we just do the statics first. So we can do like, okay, if the key, let's say for this one, I'm gonna do something like this. So we're gonna do pattern inside this one is gonna be p1, a little bit inside, small, and then we're gonna do the cursor for this one is gonna be pointer. We're gonna do transition. So we're gonna change the so as you can see right here, so when we change this one, so there's a little bit of transition, and whatever the button is selected is gonna have this background right here. So that's what we're gonna do. And so we're gonna do add some condition right here. We can say, okay, if the index is gonna be equal to whatever that's gonna pass to, or whatever that's gonna index right here. For now, I'm gonna set index 0. So we're going to give it the BG, the background. So let's say the BG gray to 500. And then I'm going to give the BG opacity to 30. Okay. So right now, so if we go back in here, so as you can see, we have this background. And then we're going to give this one around it as well. So it's a little bit of my border radius around this one. Okay, very nice. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this one. So next we're going to create this timer right here. So for this, we're going to go outside this div. We're going to create another div, but this one is going to be on the same line because we're using flex. So to make it on top of each other, we're going to do flex calls. And inside here, I'm going to create a little bit of spacing. I'm going to do t to 10 and then b for this one to 10 as well. And then for the h1 of this one, we're going to go with the class names of text to 8xl. And font for this one is going to be bold. And then we're going to do select to none. So we don't want to select. All right, so, and then for the H1, it's going to have some margin. So I'm going to do the margin for this one to be 0. So for the value, like here, I'm going to set like a default value. So for now, like I told you, we're going to focus on the statics first. There we go. Very nice. So the next thing is we're going to do is going to create the button for this one. Really simple. So button, and then we can just do the start, and then we can give a class name for this one. It's going to be the px 16 py 2 to give it x and y, and then we're going to do text gonna be 2xl and round it to d. So it's really nice rounded. And then we're gonna give a bg for this one to y. So, and then for the text for this one, it's gonna be text to, I'm gonna give it blue 500. And then we want to give this one to uppercase, and then we want to do font bold. There we go. So you can see right now it looks accurate, and it looks exactly the same. Very nice. So right now we finish our UIs already. So we're going to next is going to edit this one. Is going to be the kind of like the about page for this one. So we're going back to our index. So we have this one. So we're gonna create another component called about.js. It's gonna be a really simple about, mostly just answering the questions. So for this about, I'm gonna import this one first. It's gonna be about, and then inside here first, I'm gonna give a class name of width 11/12 to match from the navigation. So it makes sure that we going to be on the same width So, and then we're gonna do the t36, a little bit of space, and then I'm gonna keep a text wise and p5, and then we're gonna do, yeah, p5 right here. And then we're gonna have the first questions. It's gonna be a div right here and follow up by the questions. And for the question right here, I'm gonna copy this one. What is Podomo techniques? Very nice. So for the what right here, we're gonna do, as you can see, we have highlight this one underscore. So right now, let's see. This is what does it look like now. Okay, very nice. So for the what right here, first we're gonna add the spans around this one. So we're gonna do spans. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure what's wrong. Oh, okay, I see, my bad. All right, so for this span right here, what we can do is we can give just a border for this one to border 4. So border bottom. So, and then we can do border red. Oops. Border red 400. So if we go back, as you can see, we have the highlight on this right here. Very nice. And for the question right here, we can increase the size. So it's gonna be the text to 2xls from the small. So on the small screen, from the live screen, text to SL. From the small screen, we're gonna do the text XLs, and the font for this one is gonna be fonts mediums, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, very nice. And then we're gonna have a description right here. So what you can do, I'm gonna copy this descriptions, and then inside here I'm gonna create another paragraph of this one. I'm gonna paste this one, and for the class of this one, as we're gonna do is mt5, a little bit of spacing and tracking y, so to give it a little bit of later spacings. And right now, okay, but the color is gonna be a little bit the same, so I'm gonna give opacity for this one a little bit, so it's a little bit off color. I'm gonna do 70, and then text for this one to LG. There we go, looking good. And so the next one is gonna be the same things but the different content. So I'm just gonna copy this one right here. So for the question is going to be, you know, what are we building? So you can add whatever you want inside here. So I can just copy this one, and I'm gonna delete the what right here. And for the content, I can just because this one is a link, because it's a little bit different. So I can just copy all of this content and paste it right here. And for the link part right here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the A tag for this one. So for this one, I'm gonna create an A tag that the ref for this one is going to be this link right here, and the content is going to be this one. I'm going to cut and this one right here. So we're going to do a little bit of style for this one. For first, we're going to do target for this one to be blank, and then we're going to give a class name to underline. And then I'm gonna just copy from this one, and then I'm gonna cut this one and paste the links right over here. So right now, as you can see, both of this one is looking the same, but we just give this one a little bit of spacings. So I'm gonna do is to give a class name as this one to empty to 5. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. Maybe. Okay, maybe a little bit of spacing not correct, but it's all right. So for now, the functionality, this one is already finished, the UI. So we're going to create our timer. So let's do that. So first, what I'm going to do is go into our index right here. So we're gonna use the state. For the state that we're gonna use, we're gonna pass it from the tops right here. So okay. So what I'm gonna do is, so as you can see, we have 3 options: the pomodoro, short break, and long breaks, right? So for that, I'm gonna create a different state for this one. So pomodoro, and then we set pomodoro equal to use state, and then I send the default value. I'm gonna put this one as 25. There's gonna be short breaks. That short breaks. Okay, and then this one is gonna be long breaks, and then this one is gonna be set long breaks. Okay, so this one is gonna be 5, and this one is gonna be 10. So for all of this value is we going to passing down to the timer. And the next thing is we going to have, as you can see right here, we have a different stage. So when I click on this one, it's going to different stage. So I can create a stage of the state right here as well. So I'm gonna create const stage is gonna be set stage equal to use stage is gonna be 0. So I'm gonna pass this stage right here for now. Let's say I'm gonna pass stage equal to the stage right here. So if we go back into our timer, we should be received this stage. And then when this one is gonna be the stage. So whenever the index right here is gonna be equal to stage, and then we're gonna change this one. So for now, we need to be able to change the stage. So I can create another function called, let's say this one is going to be switch stage. So switch stage is going to be like this. And for the switch stages, we're going to have like the index right here. Let's say index. And then for this one, we just set stage to the stage of the index that we have. And then we can pass this one as well to our timer, and then we can use this as a props. I think I misspelled this one. It's gonna be T. And also this one as well. Very nice. Go back in our timer, we should be able to get a switch state, and then we can use on clicks. So whenever we on click on this one, we're gonna use switch stage, and then we're gonna pass our index right here. Very nice. Right now, if I click on here, so you can see we switch between short break, long breaks. But right now we haven't switched the times that we are selecting this one yet. So we're gonna pass this one. So this we need the functions that gonna be generate the stage. So you can see right now when we switch the state, we don't know which timer we're gonna use to show the user. So we don't know which pass to the timer, right? So we need to create a function. For this function, it's gonna be get times. So for this one, let's do that. So we can do const get ticking time. So the time that we're gonna select is gonna be doing ticking. So we can do based on the stage that we have. So we can do if else, but I think it's not really good. So you can do if stage is equal to 0. We're gonna return pomodoro, and then a lot of if else. But there's a better way of doing that. So you can do the time stage, and then you create an object for this one. Let's say for the 0, you call for the key 0. We're gonna do pomodoro. Key 1, we're gonna call short breaks, and key 2 is we're gonna do long breaks. All right. And then so the return value of this one is going to be time stage / the stage. And then we be able to get the times. Very nice. So then I'm going to pass the get time for this one to the timer. There's a lot of prop trailing, but it's all right. And then we're going to be get time. And instead of this 25 right here, so you can see, so we going to call this one is going to be get times. function. So right now, if I switch between this one, so as you can see, we have the time right here. Very nice. But for this time right here, I want to do is a little bit different. So for the seconds right here, okay, so right now we be able to switch the time. So next up is we going to start the countdown, the timer. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start countdown from this one. All right, so let's do that. So to start a countdown is gonna be a really simple one. So let's see. So what we count down, let's say, depend on the stage that we are in. So let's say if I'm in the stage 1, so what I'm count down is going to be, I'm count on the pomodoro stage. If I'm in the short break, I will do the countdown for the short break stage, right? But this one is all in a minute, so we need to have the way to have a second as well. So for that, I'm going to create another stage called seconds. So for this second is going to be set seconds. So we're going to update the second as well. It's going to be use state is going to be 0. Very nice. And then I'm going to pass the second to this one as well. Go back into our timer. And then instead of this one, we're going to call second. And I've got to pass it right here. So right now we have only one 0. So to make it 2 0 is really simple. So you can convert this one to strings. And then for this one, so you can go to pet start. For pet start of this one, it's going to be 2, and then you can just click pass 0. So you mean like you add 2, and then the value is going to be 0. So right now we have, as you can see right here, we have 2 0. Very nice. So okay, so let's do our countdowns. So for the countdowns, what we can do is to, let's say, when I click on this button, I want to start a countdown. So right now I'm going to do use effects, sorry. So it's going to be really simple. So for this use effects right here, what we're going to do is going to set the timer, set the interval. I'm going to do set interval, and then for this is going to be for every 100 for every 1000 milliseconds, so which is 1 second, we're gonna run the timer. So I'm gonna do the timer stored from a variable, and then we're gonna do, let's say we're gonna clear this one, clear interval. So this interval is gonna run forever. So when you switch the component, we should be able to do this, but like components aren't. So then it's gonna be clear our timer. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we're going to create a function that is gonna be called when our set interval. I'm gonna create another function right here called clocks ticking. Okay. So what I can do is to create, update this one. So let's say I'm gonna get a minute. So const minute is going to be equal to get times, and based on get ticking times. So then for this one, it's going to be either which state that we are in. So as you can see, get ticking time either return us the time based on the stage, and then we're going to get the set minute. So we're going to know which ones we going to update the stage, right? Update the times based on the stage. So let's say update minute is going to be another function. Basically, it's going to be the same as this one. So I'm going to set this one. Oops. So I'm going to copy from this one. Everything is going to be the same. So because we don't know which function are we going to call, right? We don't know which, either we're going to call set pomodoro. We don't know which one we're going to call set break or set long breaks. So that we're going to create this one is going to be update stage. And then this one is going to be set pomodoro, set short breaks. And this one is going to be set long breaks. And then for the return time, so we're going to return either update of both of this stage, depend on what they are using. So we can do this one is going to be set minute is going to be update minute. All right, so for this one, so after now, when we get this two value, we can do our logic for our timer. So we can do, okay, if the minute is going to be equal to 0 and the second is going to be equal to 0 as well. So we're going to do, let's say this one is going to be times up. So for now, I'm going to just do simple thing, alert times is up. Okay. Else if second is equal to 0. So we're gonna set the minute and equal to our minute, the minute right here to the minute, let's say minute minus 1. And then we're gonna set our second is going to be equal to 59, right? Else if it's not 0, so we're gonna set the second is going to be equal to seconds minus 1. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this one. I'm gonna call this function inside our interval. Right now, let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, so you can see right now it starts ticking, but I think the logics that we set, this one is wrong. Let's see, set second. We not updating this one. Okay, actually we update this one, but let's see why it only do this one. It update for only one times only. So I think for this one we need to set up run the interval. So this one is gonna be seconds. I'm going to put the second inside here. So you can see right now, this one, it's going to run. So whenever the second is changed, so we're going to run again. And also we're going to shoot past the pomodoro. We're going to pass the short breaks as well. And then also we're going to pass the long break. So whenever either both of this one is changed, we run the use effects. All right. Voila. So right now it's good. So let's see, for example, so I'm gonna change this one. So what we can do is to stop the timer and also enable the timer. So right now it's kind of like automatically running this one. So we don't want to do that, right? So we want to user to click on start and doing this one. So we can create a stage for this one. Let's say call tickings, set ticking. Set ticking equal to use stage to be false. Okay, very nice. And then all right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass to this one. All right, so let's see what we can do is to set ticking. So we're gonna do ticking, we pass ticking for this one. And also we're gonna pass set ticking as well to set ticking. So we're gonna pass everything down to our stage, to our another component, this one right here. Ticking, and then we're gonna set tickings right here. Oops. Okay, very nice. So for the button right here, what we can do for this one is we to on clicks. So we on click, when we on click on this one, what we can do is set ticking to not, let's say this one is ticking value. Let's say tickings. So we can do is, oops, I think my bad. Set ticking to not ticking. And then for this value right here, so we can say if it's ticking, we're gonna show stops. Else we're gonna show start. So right now, when I click on this one, so you can see we switch between these two, but we don't, for our timer, it's not yet ready. I think it's not correct for our timer. So let's go back in here. So this one, it should be running if it tickings, right? So I can do if tickings. So we're gonna do ticking, clock ticking. So right now it's wait. So if I click in here, so it's not running. The reason that it's not running is because our interval right here, it's gonna rerun after this one is gonna change. So for example, this user flag right here is already running and it's gonna rerun unless this 4 parameter is gonna change. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the ticking into right here. So for that, when I click on this one, it's going to run our timer. So for now, let's say for what I want to see if it actually times up and it's going to be working. Oops. I think there's for our small screen, it's not working properly. Yeah, so as you can see right here. So I'm gonna debug this one. All right, for now we're gonna focus on functionality first. I'm gonna go into the, I think it's gonna be homes, right? Let's go to here. So you can see I'm gonna change the state to 0. And for this one, I'm gonna go with 2, not 22. I'm gonna go with 2, 0, 2, 1. And this one shoot our times up. So you can see it's stopped running forever. So the alert. So we're gonna do our times ups properly. So rather than alert right here, we're gonna do times ups as we're going to reset our timer, or we're going to running alarm clock or something like that. So, but for now, I'm gonna create a function called reset, which we not created yet. So reset. So I'm gonna create the function on top right here. Reset. So when resets right here, so the reset right here is going to set everything to back to false. So let's say set ticking to false. And then we're gonna be set pomodoro to whatever like a default value. So let's say for now I'm gonna do the hardcode value 25, set long breaks to 10, and then set short breaks to 5. So this is our reset. So whenever it's finished, so we're gonna call reset this one. So right now, let's say for example, I'm gonna change this one to 2 or 0. And for the 0 right here, I'm gonna go to change to 2. So let's do start 0, 1, 2. And it's reset. So you can see right here, let's go back to the stage, which is really nice. Okay. So what else are we going to do for this one? I think the next thing is we're gonna do is to, let's say we haven't do, let's say when I in this stage, I can switch and you can see it's wrong right here, it fails. So this is not the right way. So when it's already start, so we want to warn the user, hey, you want to switch? Are you sure you really want to switch or something like that? So all right, so for that, we need to keep track whether if we actually running or not. So to do that, it's gonna be, I'm gonna create another stage called consumes seconds. Consume seconds is equal set consumes seconds, right? Yeah, consume seconds is equal to use stage of this one. It's gonna be equal to 0. So, and I think I'm spelled this one wrong. All right, so wait a minute. So this one is gonna be set consume seconds. Okay, very nice. So for this one, it's gonna be update whenever the ticking as well. So whenever the clock is ticking, so I'm gonna set the consume second is equal to value of this one is gonna be +1. All right, so it's gonna be value. It's gonna be value +1. Okay, very nice. And so if you can see, right now, let's go into our component. Let's go to our state. So when I click start, So you can see our consume is start running. 3, 2, 1, and 4. If it stops, the consume is stop as well. Very nice. So what we can do before we switch, we can check and then we ask the user if they want, whether they want to switch or not. So first we're gonna do is yes. Let's say consume second. So let's say if we have consume seconds and the stage right now is not equal to the index. So if this happens, we're gonna ask the user confirms. Are you sure you want to switch? Are you sure you want to switch? Else we're gonna set false for this one. But if the user is yes, so is yes, if they want to switch, so we're gonna call reset for this one. And also we're gonna set stage of this one to index. But else, if it's not consume seconds, so which means that, okay, sometimes when we confirm, they confirm no. And if they confirm no, and the consume second is not like, it's not being run, so we can say just switch the state right away. So right now, let's see that. So let's say I'm going to start from this one. I consume 1 second. If I try to switch, it's going to ask me, hey, you want to switch? If I cancel, let's go back to okay. I can continue. So, but if I switch right here, so right here as I'm reset, so but I reset this not properly. So for our reset, we should be able to set the seconds to 0 as well, right? So right now, if I do this, let's say if I consume seconds, like here, if I switch, be okay, but the state, but if I try to reset again, it's gonna ask me why for this one, because I forgot to reset the consume second. So you can see the value consume second is 1. So for our reset, we should do that as well. I'm gonna set consume second to 0 as well. Right now, let's do again. So I click start. Okay, it's nice, it's working. And if I go switch, so right now it's reset. So if I switch again, it's fine. So this one. Okay, very nice. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this one. Let's see what's else that we wanted to do. Okay, I think the next thing is, let's say when we start this one, we don't want the user to refresh the page immediately. So we need to prompt the user, let's ask them, hey, you really want to do this or not? Something like that. So to do that is really simple. So inside the use effects right here, we can do windows.on reload on before unload right here. Before unload is gonna be an arrow functions that's gonna be asked the users. It's gonna be returned. So we ask this one if we consume second or not, like whether like the timer has been ticking or not. So we can do show warnings to the user, else we're gonna do null. So right now, if I refresh, it's okay. If I've been already starting the clock, if I try to refresh, it's gonna ask me, hey, you really want to do this? If I want to close, it's gonna prompt to ask me as well. I think that's really neat for this one. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for our timer. So last but not least, we going to add the alarm clock. So, all right, so let's do that. All right, so I think before we add alarm clocks for this one, let's check for the responsiveness on this one. I'm not sure it's due to because the about page right here. Let's check the about page. The about page is going to be this one. I'm not sure what's breaking right now. All right, so let's see. The about page. Somehow it's broken. It our apps. So I think it's due to this one. Let's see. I'm gonna reload. Yeah, I think it's because of this one. So I'm go put back the about page, and we set this max width right here. And then I think this one should be okay, but somehow it's not okay. Okay. Oh no, it's not okay. So you can see. Let's see why. I think because of the value of this one. Let's see this one on the small screens. Is it okay? Yeah, I think this one is okay. It accepts this one. I'm not sure why it's this one. All right, let's do the okay. So for this, I think maybe I forgot to do like a break words. Okay, there we go. So right now I forgot just to do a break word between of this one. That's why it's caused this error right here. Very nice. So far it's so good. So I think everything is fine. And the last one is we going to do the alarm clocks. All right, so for this, I'm gonna create another function, another component called alarm.js. Okay, inside the alarm right here is gonna be really simple. So what we can do is to set the audio of this one, and then so we can do source. Let's say source of this one is going to be SOC, and so we're gonna get this one from our public directory. So you can see the alarm mp3 right here. So what we can do is slash alarm.mp3, and then for the type of this one, it's gonna be types audio.mp3 slash mp3. Oops. Audio slash mp3. Okay. And so we may print this one if your browser do not have support this one. So we should have this one as well. Now I'm gonna set the control to true so we be able to see this one. So it's gonna be alarm right here. So let's see. So you can see if I click play, so you can see the alarm clock. Very nice. So right now I'm gonna do the uncontrol. So there we go, it's gone. So we want to be able to control this one. So we need to pass like a reference for this one. So ref, and then I'm gonna make a pass a reference to this audio, and then we need to create the alarm ref right here as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the alarm ref is equal to use ref this one. And I think that's pretty much it. So then we're gonna pass this alarm ref to our alarm. So let's go back in here. We have the reference, so it's gonna be alarm ref. Very nice. So for now, we're gonna test this one. So the alarm ref is going to run is only when the time is up, right? So when the time's up, so we're gonna do the alarm. So right now, let's see. So right now, it's just this one for when the time's up. I just call reset, but I think there should be more to our time's ups. So let's do that. So I'm gonna create a function rather than reset. I'm gonna create one more function called time's ups. So inside here, what I can do is I'm going to times up this reset, and also I'm gonna call the times up. And for this one, we want to play the alarm ref as well. So alarm ref.current.play. Really simple as that. So what I'm gonna do is all right, let's see, we have this one. Ref, it's not a prop. Okay, let's see. So the ref right here is not a props. Let's see. All right. The ref right here. So okay, I see. So because this one is not a props, That's why it's got failed. So what we can do is to create just so this one, and we're gonna have like a prop for this one, and then we're gonna do like a ref for this one, just something like this. Aha, I see. Wait a minute. So yeah, I think this is it. This one is strange. Okay, so right now, I think for this one, for the ref right here, we're going to use the forward ref instead. So I'm gonna do const alarm right here is gonna be equal to react.forward ref. And for the forward ref right here, let's see. Let's say the return right here, I'm gonna cut this one. And then, so for this is we're gonna return, so we can just return right here. And for the first one is gonna be a prop, and this one is gonna be a ref. So, and inside the index right here, we're gonna have the reference right here. I think that's pretty much it. Like, okay, the alarm right here, I forgot to export. So export default alarm. Oops. Very nice. So right now, let's try to do our alarm clocks. Let's go to our component, go index. So I'm gonna set this one to 0. And for the 0 right here, I'm gonna set it to 2. I think this one is stage. Let's say I'm gonna go for this one, it's gonna be 2. Oh, I think this one, right? Okay, 2, and this one is gonna be 0. So whenever this one is hit times up, so we're gonna play. So you can see it's play the alarm clock. Very nice. And the next thing is we want to show the icon to mute the alarm clocks. Let's do that. So let's see. So we can go back to our index right here, and then we can create another function called const mute alarms. Okay, so this mute alarm right here. So we're gonna do alarms dot not alert alarm ref dot current dot path, and also the alarm dot ref dot current times. So it's gonna be equal to 0. Okay. So when are we gonna call this mute? So this mute right here is going to it's gonna be the same as the we're gonna pass through the timers mute alarm. So go back into our timer. It's gonna be inside this one right here. Gonna be inside this div. So we're going to import React icon. Let's go to mute. I'm not sure which icons that we're gonna using, but let's see. For the mute icon is we're gonna do this one right here. Barbell off. So I'm gonna copy from this one. I think I'm gonna copy from this one as well. Go back to our timer, and then I'm gonna copy this file alarm off. Very nice. And for this one, we're gonna check, okay, if and only if it's a times up, so we're gonna display this one. So if it times up, so we're gonna using this one, but where is this times up? So we're gonna pass this one to this one as well. And so whenever this one on click, we're gonna pass the mute times up. All right. So, but right now we do not have any times ups. So we can go back into our stage, and then we can do, okay, for this one sets con times ups, set times ups is gonna be equal to use stage to false. So I see. So I think it's because it's like a duplicate. So we have this function right here. So this one we can set is times ups. Set is times ups. I can pass to the stage right here is times up. There we go. So we set this one, set times up, set is times up. So when it to be true, if this one true, okay, true right here. Very nice. So right now, if I go into click start from this one, and I'm gonna go tweak our component, let's go to 0. For the second right here is going to be 2. So 0, 1, 2. Voila, so you can see time up. So when I click on this one, it's paused. So for this one, I'm going to make this one side by side. And what if I click start again? So when we click start again, so I should be able to set the times up right here to be false, so that it's not display this one. So for that, so when we start ticking right here rather than this one, so I'm going to create another function called start timer. So for this start timer right here, is to start the timer, we can set is times up to be false, and then we can mute the alarm as well. So because let's say, and then we can set ticking to ticking right here to not ticking. Okay. So rather than pass set ticking, we're gonna pass set timer, start timer, go back to our time right here. And then so whenever we click on this one, set a timer. And then we do not pass anything. We can just, okay, start a timer. And then for this one, we can just do something like this. Okay, I'm gonna reload, start a timer, go back to 0. This one go back to 2, 0, 1, 2. So you can see, and I click mute. When I click start, it resets this one. Very nice. I click stops. Okay, right now it works. The next things that we're gonna do is gonna be set the UI for this one. So you can see our timer right here is not running, not looking good. So I'm gonna do flex for this one. I'm gonna do gap for this one to be 2. So if we go back again, I'm gonna do 0, and then this one is gonna be 2. And then let's start 0, 1, 2. It's ringing, so you can see we have this one, and so we're gonna go with the item center as well. Okay, very nice. So right now we have this one right here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. Let's see, did I miss some things? Okay, I think for the last one is we're going to create the reset button. That let's say when you click start right here, you want to reset this one. So what I'm gonna do is to outside right here, I'm gonna create another button called reset. Okay, so for the reset right here, we can do a little bit of style for this one. It's gonna be uppercase, text for this one to be white, and we're gonna do underline, and then we do t to 5. But start here right here, we do the logic is that it's only happens if whenever we the clock is ticking. Okay, so when it's ticked, so it's gonna be reset. So what's gonna happen? So when we click on this reset, what I wanted to do is to reset our clock. So it's gonna be really simple. So we're gonna do on clicks. It's gonna be called reset. Okay, so I'm gonna pass our resets right here, and then let's go back into our index, and then we should be able to pass resets for this one. Okay, I'm gonna reload. So right now I click restart. So if I click reset, so everything is go back to reset right here. So let's go back to normal. So switch, all right, let's just check the functionality, and it's right here. and we switch, and then we okay. Yeah, I think that pretty much it for this one right here. I think for the next part is we're gonna do the optimize this one a little bit, and also I think I forgot to add this one right here, the now bar, so when it's gonna change the timer. So for this, I'm gonna do that for in the next video, or maybe in the next part. So the optimization is that, as you can see right now, if I go into individual of, let's say, of the navigation right here, if I console this one, console.log, I am rebuild. Okay. So if I click on this one, so every time the navigation is rebuilt. So because the reason that is because we use the stage right here. It's kind of like a parent stage. So whenever the parent state is changing, the both child of this one is going to change, and this one is going to be reload. So everything that happened inside this component is going to be rebuilt. So we don't want to do that. So we want to optimize this part right here. So I think for that part, we're going to do that in the next part. Plus the set the module pop up this one right here as well. So I think that's pretty much it for this part. All right, so see you guys in the next part. All right, so for this part, what we're gonna do is to create the time settings mode pop-up. So you can see it's for this pop-up right here. So we be able to change the times. So and whenever I click on the background, it's all close the modal. And also I can change and click save to change it as well. All right, so let's do that. So for this one, I'm going to create another component. For this one, I'm gonna call modal settings.js. I'm gonna do OFC right here. And then for this one, I'm going to put this one below the alarm clocks, the modal settings. Okay, very nice. So for this one, so what we're gonna do in this, so we're gonna have, so as you can see, if we go back in here, if I click, so you can see as the background is a little bit dark. So when I click on this one, it's close to modal as well. So for this one, we can create, let's say I'm gonna give a class name of this one to give it to absolute. And then we're gonna do height full, and then we're gonna do width full, X auto. I think no need. This one is gonna be left, let's say left 0, and then it's gonna be top 0 as well. It's gonna be G2 blacks. So right now, if we go back in here, if I try to reload, so you can see it's completely black. So what we can do is to get the background opacity for this one to 30, so then we can see the background. So there we go. So, and the next thing is that we're gonna do is we're going to create a module pop-ups. This one right here. So for this one, I'm gonna give a class names of the width of this one to max width to XLs. That's for now. We're gonna do BG to Y. And then for the, I'm gonna set the content for this one a little bit. So let's say the H1 is going to be times settings, right? So, okay, can we see this one? Okay, we can see that it's on the bottoms, so which is not good. So what we wanted to do, this one is to do the absolute as well. So I'm gonna do absolute, and then I can give a width of this one. Let's say from the small width is going to be, the width is going to be 96. And for the lower width, so let's say when a small resolution is going to be 11/12. And we're going to do left for this one is going to be FT to be 1/2. And the top for this one is going to be 1/12. So make sure that's in the middle, but it's, so we need to do some tweaks this around a little bit. Is we need to add some styles. So this one is just CSS. So we can do transforms, translate, this one, transform, translate. And we're gonna go with 50% for this one. So then minus 50. So then it's going to go into the middle. There we go. So you can see. For the padding for this one, I'm going to give padding for this one to be 5. And also I'm going to give a border radius as well. So it's going to be rounded to empty. Very nice. That's looking really good. Okay. So for this one, when I click open this one, so you can see we have time settings. Now we have this one close icon right here. So for this, I can wrap this one in another div. And then I can copy one icon. I think it's going to be close. Right. So let's see. I think it's going to be fix, right? Okay. So I'm going to copy this one. And for this one, it's going to be FIX. So it's going to be X icon. So I'm going to do this one. It's going to be a component. So for this, it's going to be class name. For this one, it's going to be, for both of this one, it's going to be class text to gray 400. And for this one, the size of this one is going to be text to 2xls. All right. And then I want to be this one to be flex and then justify between. If we look at right here, if we can see, and we're going to make item center, make sure everything's center. And for the H1 right here, I'm going to go with the uppercase and font this one to be bold and tracking for this one to be wider, a little bit of letter spacings. And there we go. So you can see, very nice. Next is we're going to have like a border of this one. So you can see this one. So for this, it's not like a really border. So I'm going to create another div with the class name of higher one, width to be full, and then BG gray 400. And then I'm going to give a little space, T5, and then B5. Very nice. So the next thing is we're going to have the inputs. So you can see we have 3 inputs right here, which have the names. And we have one button. So for this input right here, it's going to be the same thing. So we can create a loop for this one. So I'm going to copy the options that I will set up. So I'm going to explain what is that. So it's going to be right here. Okay, for the options right here, so you can see we have like a reference. So that is going to be passed from the top. So it's going to be passed from the as a prop so that we can control of each of the input. So I can put this one as a props, short reference and long ref. So we're going to go back. We're going to come back to this. But for this one, as you can see, the value for the options that, okay, I can change this one to input. The value name is going to be pomodoro, short break, long break, and the default value is going to be 10, 20, something like this one. All right. So right now we can have this one. What we can do is to this one, we can put this inside a div. And then I can give a class names of this one to be flex, because we're going to loop inside of the input. The input that maps, and then we're going to have input, and we can have index. So use this as a key. And then we're going to return a div right here. And the key of this one is going to be equal to index. Okay. Key, and then we're going to have one is going to be an H1 of value. So class name for this one. And then we're going to have like a value, input value, not value. And the next one is going to be an input right here. That is going to have like a default value is going to be the input dot default value. And for the type of this one is going to be types number. And for the class name is going to be width full. I'm going to give a BG of this one a little bit to gray 400. And BG opacity. Okay, BG opacity for this is going to be 30 and PY to 2. A little bit of whitings. And then for the reference is going to be input.ref. Input.ref. Okay, very nice. Okay, we have this one. And for the text right here, I'm gonna do text gray 400, and then the text to be SMs, a little bit of small. All right, so if we look right now, there's real kind of okay. So you can see it is okay, but we want to be half the gap. So I'm gonna give the gap of this one to gap to 5, a little bit of spacings. For the input right here, I can do one more. It's gonna be rounded, and then it's gonna be some, I think, outline none. So you can see, and then also we're gonna make this one is gonna be text to center. Okay, so it's gonna be only number, so you can see it's good. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. The last one is we're gonna have like a button. So this one is gonna be save, and then for the class name of this one is gonna be bg greens 500, and we're gonna do uppercase, width is gonna be full. Empty to 5, a little bit of spacing on top for text to be wide. And we're gonna have a border radius, and for the I'm gonna give a little bit of padding. Okay, so there we go. So you can see, very nice, but we do not have a default value. So where is that? So this one should be default value, not default checks. If we refresh, we could see, okay, very nice, that's good, but we don't want to be this to open. We only this one to open only when we click on this one, right? So we need to have open this one. So let's go back into our index so we can create another state. Let's say call open settings, and then we're gonna do set open settings. It's gonna be equal to this, and we're gonna be use state is gonna be false, and then we can pass this one to our modal and also to our navigation as well. So let's say set open settings to be open this one. So for this one, it's gonna be open settings is gonna be equal to open settings. Set open setting as well is equal to set open settings. We need this one, there's 2 right here. For the navigation, we're gonna pass the set open settings to, all right, cool. Let's do that. And I forgot to create, so we need to have like this modal right here is gonna have this 3 ref right here. So we're gonna create this one. So, all right, so this is the reference. So, okay. It's gonna be equal to use ref, not use state, use ref. And this one is gonna be equal to use ref as well. And also same thing for this one, use ref. Very nice. And then we can go back into here. We can pass the reference, pomodoro reference is equal to pomodoro ref, short break ref equal to short break ref, and then long break ref is equal to long break ref. Okay, cool. So right here, we're gonna have like open settings. So this is just 2 more prop that we're just passing in. So this 2. So as you can see right here, I'm gonna pass this one. And then we're gonna do some logic to our components. So this one, it should be hidden. For both of this one, it should be hidden whenever this open setting is true. So what I can do is to add some logic. It's like, okay, if open settings, if it's true, so if it's opened, we're gonna do nothing, right? But if it's so if it's not open, it's like it's false, so we're gonna be hidden this one. So I think the same logic is gonna apply at the bottom as well. So I'm gonna copy this one, and then we add the backticks for this one and also for this one. You can copy here, and there we go. So right now this one should be gone, and next is we need to be able to click on this one to open it up. So let's go back into the navigations. I'm gonna close, delete this one, and what I pass to this one is gonna be set open settings. So whenever this one is on click, so whenever this one is on clicks, we're gonna set open settings, and the value, so we're gonna be like toggle between this one, so not value. Okay, very nice. So if I click in here, so you can see we open this one. So whenever I click on this one, or click on this one, or click on the background, it should be give me like close this one, right? So go back to modal settings. So I'm gonna give like on clicks. So I'm gonna set open settings to false. Okay, and also for the close, this one on save, I think not on save, I think this one. So if I click on here, it's close. If I click here, it's close as well. I think for this one, I'm gonna give the cursor for it to pointer as well. So there we go. So you can see, very nice. So next, we're going to make a reference and update this one. So to do that, we're going to create a function that's going to update our state. So we can go back into our index right here. For on save, I'm gonna set I'm gonna update times default. So all right, so I'm gonna create a function right here called update times a default value. Is going to be this, and we're gonna be set pomodoro is gonna be pomodoro ref.current.value. There we go. Set short breaks is gonna be short break ref.current.value, the same thing. And then we're gonna set long break is gonna be long break ref.current.value. And then we're gonna pass this one into our modal right here. Very nice. And then for our modal, we can receive this one. And then whenever we're on save, so let's say on save, on click, this one, when we on clicks, we're gonna call update this one. Very nice. And also when we update this one, we should set the open settings to be false as well. So we don't want to close this one, we don't want to open. So let's say I'm gonna open this one, I'm gonna change this one to 45. Click, as you can see, it's 45. There we go. So right now we be able to change this one. Very nice. I can change this one to 10s. I click on this one and reset. So, but right now our function is reset. It's not correct. The reason is that if you look at right here, it's 10s, but whenever we reset, our function is gonna set this one to 25. So you can see when we reset, I think I will look at right here. So right here, our reset is wrong. All right, so what we can do for this one is we're gonna set this one to the real value. So instead of this one. So for this one, what we should do is, so I can erase this one. I can just call the update time default value. And also when we call the set update time value right here, what I want is to set the seconds is gonna be to 0 as well. All right, so right now if we go back in here, so if I click on the stats right here, so if I were to change this one, let's say I'm going to change this one to 15, I'm going to click save, go back, and then if we switch this one, there we go. So right now, as you can see, it's go back in here. So whenever you hit save on this one, it's going to change everything. So whatever that you're running. So let's say if you are currently running on this one, you may want it to, let's say if you click on reset, so it's gonna reset this one. And then right now when we switch, I think we shouldn't call the switch of this one, right? The reason that we switch this one because we used to consume. So you can see we consume 4 seconds. So for this one, we can set the consume second to be 0. So then we don't have the prompt to ask us to confirm. So right now I'm going to reload our server. So let's reload this one. So let's say I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to click this one to change. So I'm going to say change this one to 15. I'm going to change this one to 50. I click save, and then we switch, it's okay. So you can see. And also if I click on reset, so it's going to set to 15 because it picked up from our states from our input right here. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this one. For the last things that I'm going to show you is the things that I have this one. So as you can see, I'm going to console.log this one is that I am rebuild. And let's say if I click start timer, so you can see this one is going to start rebuild. So I think this is not a really nice thing to do because that imagine if this one have a lot of computation. Imagine that if this function or this component make an API request, so every time that the time is ticking, it's make an API request to our server. So this is going to be a mess. So it's going to be like a server overload. It's going to be like a DDoS to your server. So the way that you do this one is going to be, if you know that this thing is not going to change often, what you can do is to create the export default is going to be, I'm going to create this one, not like this. We have a function. We can do memo this one, and we're going to do navigations. So right now, I'm going to reload this one. Let's see. So right now you can see our build one time. Let's do when we clock is ticking, so it's not gonna rebuild. So because React is know that okay, there's nothing changed to this one, so we shouldn't rebuild this one. So all right, so I think that's pretty much it. I think we're gonna do that for every components that we have. So let's see the about page as well. Okay, so it's gonna be the same thing. So I'm gonna cut from this one. Let's copy it from the navigations. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna put the about in here. Next is gonna be modal setting, so it's gonna be this one, and it's gonna be a modal settings. I think, but this one is a lot of things, change a lot, but let's see. So we click on this one, I click stop, and I click open this one, I click save, so everything is working as expected, so you can see. Let's see what's L. I think it's gonna be alarm. So it's gonna be the same things. I'm gonna do alarm right here. Very nice. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. For our timer right here, we don't do memorize because that this component is gonna be rebuild. Depends on like the props that we have. So we're gonna keep this one. So I'm gonna remove the console.log from this one. Oops, did I miss something? Okay, very nice. So I think, yes, that's pretty much it for our apps, this one. So if you want to deploy this one, so you can go to vercels.com. So as you can see right here, you can choose the deployment. So this one I have already deployed. So you can go into the app, so you can choose a new project. You can connect it to your GitHub. So then you can import this one. I think so pretty much it's like adjust your GitHub permission, because this one I set up only the project that I want to be deployed. So once you import this one, it's automatically deployed for you. You can go to your apps, so you can see the deployment right here. You can go to settings, so you can choose, let's say, Git integration. And this one is the branch. So whenever this is going to be like a production branch. So if you have 2 or 3 branch that you want to do production, you can do like, okay, which one is going to be like a master or main? In my case, I'm doing main. You can change this one as well. And it's automatically deploy for you whenever you push the new code in. So I think that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you like this one. If you have any feedback, if I make any mistakes or something for this one, please let me know in the comments. Hope you like this one. See you guys in the next video. Peace.